You got scammed.
I did.
You got scammed like your first day working here.
It was a few months in, but it was as street smart as I am, or like to think I am. Yeah, I bit really hard on an email that I got early one morning from none other than Corey Gorley, my boss.
Want to watch a lawyer squirm? Do's and Don'ts Springs publicly ask legal advice questions on experts in their field. All right, well, welcome to another episode of Do's and Don'ts. We ran out of friends, so we recruited from within, and today I am joined by none other than the legendary Colin Dope Yoda Murphy.
Bobby, good morning.
Great morning.
Friday morning.
It is a Friday morning. And the do's and don'ts, we have had a long-standing, whole three shoot, what do you call that?
Episode?
Tradition, where we pull questions from the internet for legal advice, and then we transform them into do's and don'ts lessons for the people. And instead of doing that for this episode, we have a real life situation.
True, we've had some calls about Bitcoin scams, and we've been doing some research about Bitcoin scam, and in the process of that, it allows us to relive an episode that I was involved in shortly after coming on board here. So in the interest of posterity, I saved those emails knowing that they'd come in handy for just this kind of event. And so
I am so glad you did, because there's so much that we're going to be able to do with this. And what the long and short of it is, you got scammed.
I did.
You got scammed like your first day working here.
It was a few months in, but it was as street smart as I am, or like to think I am. Yeah, I bit really hard on an email that I got early one morning from none other than Corey Gorley, my boss.
This is well played.
Yeah, it is really well played. And if we have time to get into it, they have continued to come back to me because they knew that they had a live one, and I've only fallen for it once. But yeah.
And this is no disrespect to your true street cred.
It's going to take a bit of a hit.
A little bit, but we're going to do it for the good of the people.
That's right.
And
that's a PSA.
You're in a vulnerable spot in life.
So we'll set the stage. I am newly on board here, a few months in. This is 2018, so this is going back a bit. Get an email. What was it? 6:46 a.m. It pops up on my phone, and it's from Corey.
And you're hustling. Like you just started really working with us. We got your picture up on the website. Did the big announcement. We're fired up that you made our team stronger. We're all roasty toasty, ready to go. And you're hustling.
I'm hustling.
You're hustling hard, getting back into legal practice after being out of it for a
little
bit.
hiatus.
Yeah, and so you're fired up. And then you get this email from none other than, on the display, and we'll break this down a little bit for people, but on the display, it's Corey F. Gorley.
So when it pops up on my phone, it's an email from Corey,
the boss, at 6:46 in the morning, and the subject matter is, "Are you in the office?" question.
And then it wasn't until later when we started to break it down that I realized that apparently Corey never starts an email with the word kindly, but
ever.
But I did not know that at the time. So.
And the email, the fish, the bait, is simply, quote, "Kindly let me know. I have a request I need you to handle. Thanks."
So of course, it's short and sweet. It's from Corey. It's early in the morning. Ask me if I'm in the office. I happened to be, I had an appointment that morning. I think I was visiting a client at the jail.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you respond. You did pretty good within an hour.
Yeah.
7:48.
I didn't see it right away. We've got a couple young kids at home. You know, we're getting ready for school. All the, you know, yeah.
Quote, I was going to the jail this morning or this AM first thing, but I can do that tomorrow. Do I need a tie and jacket?
That's when they know that they've got me, because I'm like, now I'm connecting with Corey. I believe that this email is coming from him. And so I'm going to move what I had to do, set that aside. I was in street clothes. So I'm asking, because I think he's going to want me to cover something that he was doing in the morning. And so I'm asking him, do I need a coat and tie?
And this person responds, I'm in a meeting. I will not be able to talk to you on the phone. I will need you to run an errand. I will need you to run an errand for me at the store. This is really urgent and important. Do let me know if you can. Thanks. We're not even going to break down the sentence structure of that.
That's right. But some pretty poor English and grammar. Maybe that should have been a red flag.
This was before AI.
Yeah, this is.
AI wasn't in place in 2018.
That's right.
Okay. Yes, I can't drop off my boys until 8 a.m. I could get to the office by 9-ish.
So I think he's needing me to come and handle something at the office, but no.
And you're clearly like voice to texting this on your smartphone, running around the house. And then the response is, I need iTunes gift cards to send out to some client. Can you confirm if we can get some as soon as possible? We'll want you to make arrangements to get the gift cards so I can advise certain product and denomination to produce. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's that's where it's set. So, moving forward, what ends up happening is there's some additional communication. I purchased some gift cards, some iTunes cards. Corey has me scratch off the back of the card, take a photograph of it. Now, it sounded odd, but again,
You're new.
Yeah, I'm new.
And Corey's a weird dude.
Corey's asking me to do something, and I just, and before I forget, this should be sort of a lesson. They knew because the bio was up on the web page that I was new to the firm, and probably a pretty willing participant. So public service announcement. So for employers with new hires, maybe this is something that they kind of keep in mind. HR that they maybe put people on notice that, hey, you're probably going to get some weird emails, and not to move too far ahead, but this will tell you how this email ended up affected me when the 401k, when the retirement planning is eventually set up. I am getting emails from the from the 401k provider, from the kind of the mutual fund company.
Yeah, the people, the managing. You need this paperwork.
Here's your account, and here's the paperwork. And I am not clicking on any of those links. I'm not doing anything for 2 years. I got those. So there is. It's all set up for me on that end, and I don't even realize that I've got a retirement account at the firm, because I will not click on anything that goes from the outside. So when I do eventually open that up, it's like a 60-40 risk allocation. People that know me would know that I'm probably more 90-10, and so. That we got that switched around, but
you lost out on 2 years of growth.
I did because of this. So it continues to pay.
Because of legalassistance189@gmail.com.
That is an important thing to keep in mind. So when the email comes up on my phone, it's just from Corey.
The display. So they set the account name up. The way they set the account name up, it displays Corey F. Gorley.
That's right.
As the sender,
right?
But the actual email address used, if you click on it,
correct,
discloses that this, my friend, is not even a GRL Law.com account.
Yes.
And we don't have anybody here, legal assistance 189.
And it's even spelled wrong. So
Yeah, it is.
I think that
Good catch.
Yeah. So had I been a little more switched on, probably would have hovered over Corey's name, would have seen that it's a Gmail,
And then just
I would have
deleted
known
that sucker.
But again, just didn't the way it was positioned, didn't see it. It wasn't until I ended up going back after they knew that they had a live one. I got them what they needed. They asked me to get them some more. And so as I'm driving down, I get the first batch of names. I'm driving down. I get another email from Corey. Hey, can you do that again? And so I stop at the Target in Ankeny and get a second batch and head down to the office. And as I'm pulling in, I think I get a third request from Corey because this is going very well for the scammer.
Like, you got to
right?
pull this fish in as fast as you can for them.
So I get a third request from Corey, and again, the initial, Corey's initial story was that he's out of the office. Well, as I pull into the parking lot, there's Corey's car. So.
What's that? What did that feel like? So
Yeah.
you're sitting there. You're like you're hustling. You're jumping all over through hoops, and then you give one up.
Yeah.
And then you pick up another, and then you get another request, and you pull in, and there is C.F. Gorley's vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, it was the proverbial pit in my stomach because I realized this was probably not going to turn out well. So I come up the stairs. I think I talked to Mel here at the office, asked her if Corey had been in, and she's like, "Yeah, why?" And that's when I knew
That's
it at
when
that
you
point.
knew?
Yeah.
And then the beauty of it is you did have the humility to let all of us know what happened so that we could learn from your mistake.
Yeah, so I knew. I mean, so I let the credit union know because I had used a debit card, and I thought that maybe that there was some way that they could capture the debit card account information. That did not end up being the case. I did reach out to Apple to ask them, hey, is there any way that potentially, since I've purchased these iTunes cards, could I get those cards? But in that hour, 90 minutes.
Oh, they had.
Yeah, they had already been, the numbers had already been applied to some purchase and used and what, I mean, that money was gone.
They got a sweet iPhone on you.
Yeah. So I got, and I knew that, but it was, just kind of doing all the due diligence, trying to see, and of course the answer was, hey, did you make these purchases? Yes. So it wasn't a situation where, like, I lost my phone, somebody got my phone and used it to make a transfer, something like that. I mean, I was the one buying the.
Yeah, there's no way to challenge it.
Yeah, and so that was, end of the road within a very short period of time that day, and then pass that information along. I think I made a PDF of the entire email thread and sent it to everybody in the office just to say, hey, heads up.
Be aware.
Yeah, just, PSA to the office. And
The good news is we let you live this kind of stuff down.
that's right. So iTunes gift cards around the office has been a thing. So if a birthday's coming up or Secret Santa or stuff like that, people will want to know what to get me, and of course, running joke,
iTunes gift cards.
Yeah, so I'll never.
Grateful clients can always send you iTunes
That's
gift
right.
cards.
So I won't live it down, but it's a good story. all the
That's
way around.
fantastic. So let's do this since we're in it. First of all, I'd also point out, and you didn't know this, never in a million years is Corey sending emails at 6:46 in the morning.
Right, there is so
You
much I
will-
learned about Corey in the process. He doesn't start emails off kindly. He's certainly not emailing anybody at 6:46. And looking back on it, I mean, not only does it not sound like Corey, it doesn't really sound like any native English speaker.
No.
There's so many things, but I'm not really paying attention to that. I'm driving, I'm seeing it, I'm responding to it. I'm not really trying to critically analyze it. And So that, I think it's important to like, but I didn't have any sense in the beginning. I think that was the best part of it. And so had I, like the other stuff now, it's just like, oh, that's clearly a scam.
Right.
But,
Some of them get better. So, okay. So with this scam special, we break this down into the do's and don'ts.
Yep.
If we're going to say, let's start with don'ts.
I would say, I mean, if you really wanted to be super careful, hover over the email of anything that seems out of order.
Always
Yeah.
look at the actual email that it's being sent from.
Correct.
I think that'll clear out probably 3/4 of the phishing scams that you get, and then, I mean, do read the language used in the, because that's a kind of a giveaway. When we look back, if we go back and
For
we
sure.
Monday morning quarterback it, the language used, you're like, okay, no,
Yeah.
probably not. And then the other thing is, if they're asking for money, if they're asking for cards,
Anything of value.
anything of value, talk to the person that you know to be the person first.
Yeah, and they were clever. I think part of it, I'm in a meeting, not be able to talk to you on the phone.
Yep.
So I think they were setting up the idea, like, look, I'm giving you the request.
Yep.
You know, I can't really verify it. I don't even know if I would have called him, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want again? I probably wouldn't have done that.
Well, we learned a valuable lesson at your expense.
Yes.
You shared it with us.
And also know that when this happens, I must be on some list because I will get, and as I'm sure everybody
This
else
is a
does.
sucker
but
list,
yeah,
yeah.
it is. I'm sure that they've sold my email to some other scam operation, but I will get other emails. I will get, and they'll be really clever things. There'll be invoices that they want you to click on.
Yep.
So a PDF. There'll be, I'll get things, and maybe it's not related, but I will get things in my text inbox with to my cell phone that'll have a request, and it'll be things like, hey, you haven't paid this toll.
Yeah.
And we're about to,
We're going to take your license, take your car.
And what's weird is we've been at some places where we've set up the auto toll, you know, and there is a cell phone part of the account, and so you know, I think that, and I just delete those and block the number.
Norm, the way I look at it is, somebody's really going to try to collect from me, I'll get something in the mail at some point in
Yes.
time. And then I'll explain what happened and why I didn't respond, and then hopefully everything will be okay.
But the email, really good. I fell for it hard. I think that any new hires should look for that because they're clearly looking for those types of situations where they can kind of exploit a situation that somebody may not be familiar with at the office. But looking back on it, all the red flags were there. A little disappointed.
Yeah, it happens. Break it down to do's and don'ts. Do be cautious.
Do be
do
cautious.
hover over the emails. Do pay attention. And new people in an office, new people in an employment setting, by all means, be extra careful. And maybe if your bosses are nice and care about you, warn you ahead of time that this kind of stuff can happen.
For sure.
All right, that's a wrap for this episode of Do's and Don'ts. Stay tuned. We'll have another one coming up shortly. Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.
Crushed it.